Welcome to the Cult of Cinema. I am Aaron, and I am going to put this a little bit over here. There we go. So tonight I'm doing an unboxing. Well, sort of an unboxing, an unveiling, because the way things are going right now, boxes get put to the side very, very quickly. We fumigate and whatever the box is nowadays, because it got to come from all over. Anyway, tonight I'm going to be looking at a Criterion box set. And I'm looking at an out-of-print Severin Blu-ray that I'm very excited to have. Now, first off, I'm going to say like, share, subscribe, because I always forget that. I always do it halfway through the video. I do have to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters out there. Thank you so much. Hey there, Mark. And a special shout out today to Shadow, because Shadow is also a Patreon supporter, sent me the out-of-print Severin Blu-ray that I did not know could still be got. Hey there, Andy. Hey there, Dwayne. So I was very excited about that. And it means that's another movie that I can look at. How am I? I'm okay. I mean, like, I'm pretty much still hobbling, but it is what it is. If that's the worst thing that I can say, I'm pretty good. So if you come in here at this point, I hope you've hit that like button, because it really helps on the channel. And I see a lot of you haven't. Shame on you. I'm just going to put that out there right now. See, I should do it. Okay, now you get... All right, do you want to see the Severin first, or do you want to see the Criterion first? I got two things. I got a Severin out of print, and I got a Criterion box set. So who wants this? What do you want to see first? Hey there, Alan. I know I went later tonight than I normally do. Severin. So we're going to look at the Severin first, because Dennis and Mark actually just said, hey there, Mug. So Shadow sent this to me. I did not know it was coming. Actually, he just sent me a message that pretty much just said, oh, by the way, you should get a package in the next couple days. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And he didn't tell me what it was. So this is kind of cool. This is neat. This is one of the Severin, like it was a Black Friday one, I think. And it came back in stock for like a small period of time during their sale, and went out again, and it's now completely out of stock. It's out of print. And that is Revenge of the Living Dead Girls. So who's familiar with this film? Oh, thanks. This was a Christmas present last year from my better half. I love this t-shirt, actually. I got to get more like this. I got this, I think she got the Sunrise Records. So this is Revenge of the Living Dead Girls. As you can see, I took the sticker off and put it right here. Now, this has the soundtrack. For the longest time, this was one of those movies that you couldn't get. And then I got like, I think I got a media box release over in like Germany or something like that, and people kind of imported it from there. This is a snazzier release with a few more features. Oh, Andy's seen it, good. So, Andy, would you agree that this is kind of like, hey, what if John Rowland was sleazier? Welcome to Revenge of the Living Dead Girls. I'm not joking. It does have a title like a John Rowland film. It is a French horror film, but it is definitely not that. It has to do with, I won't go into it too much because I do want to review the film down the road. Poisoned milk, attractive girls that die, and they come back to kill other guys and other attractive girls in various states of undress. Hey there, Scholar. So this is Living Dead Girls. And the one cool thing about this, well, there's many cool things about it, is that, yes, it does have the CD soundtrack with it. And it runs around 42 minutes long. All 21 tracks are on here. There is a Ronin Flick sale. Actually, I'll probably be doing a video about that tomorrow. It is a fun, cool, like cheesy little film, and it's one that I wanted, and I was really bummed when Severin had the sale and I couldn't pick it up. So I know I cannot wait. Maybe it's the Black Emmanuel set, but it looked, from the whiskey thing, I'm thinking Giallo. That's what I'm going with. Some type of Giallo set, which would be really good, kind of like pole vaulting off the popularity of the recent Vinegar Syndrome Jolly set, which also does really well. Feature-wise on this thing, we have a Revisiting the Revenge interview with special effects artist Benoit Lestang and writer Jean-Claude Roy. The Revenge interview with director Pierre B. Reinhardt An Inside Studio Lestang interview with special effects artist Benoit Lestang. There is some actually interesting, there's an interesting story behind Benoit Lestang, which we'll get into on another day. We won't get into that right here. But there's a reason he's listed as doomed special effects artist. You can look that up if you want to, but I'll get into it in another video. I'm super stoked with this. It's 82 minutes long, which for me is like the kind of the special sweet spot for an exploitation film, especially this type of exploitation film. It doesn't run too long, it doesn't go too short to make it seem like it's like, it could have been a featurette type of thing. So you just get kind of like that cool 82-minute sweet spot. Lots of nudity in this film, and it does deliver on the gore as well. So Revenge of the Living Dead Girls, I'm actually super stoked to look at this one, because it's been a long time since I've seen this film, and the copy that I saw at the time that I saw it, it was a really crappy copy. So I've never seen it like restored or Blu-ray or anything like that, but that's going to be interesting to see here as well. And it does have the theatrical trailer too. A nudist film. All right. And the second thing to show, hey there, Mary, I got Revenge of the Living Dead Girls. I actually got, thanks to Shadow, I got Revenge of the Living Dead Girls with the CD soundtrack. I love the fact that Severin put CD soundtracks into their releases. The CDs, aside from having from coming on here and having to talk about videos and stuff like that, order Pale Blood and Dolly Dearest, nice. Let me know what you think. I think you like Pale Blood. I think you like Dolly Dearest too. Dolly Dearest got kind of voodoo vibe to it, but I think you'll like it. It's a fun little film. But yeah, I'm super stoked. Kubrick, I got a Criterion. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like me for this. It is actually number 528 in the Criterion collection. So for people who really know your Criterions enough, and you're like, oh, 528, I know what that is, then you're way, way better than me. Japanese lessons, nice. My kids actually, my oldest learned Japanese. I think my youngest did some Japanese as well. And he did Korean too. So anyway, the Criterion release. Are you ready? Does anybody know what this is? Can anybody kind of guess what this Criterion release is going to be? If Logan Toxic was here, you'd love this. Actually, he's a big fan of this release. It was initially put out on DVD. It went out of print on DVD, I think, and they put it out on Blu-ray afterwards, I think, because I initially thought this was out of print when I picked it up. But I'm actually really glad I got it, because it is gorgeous. And oh man, the restoration on this is impeccable, especially since the films are so old. It's a box set, so it's not Army of Shadows, but good guess. But it is the 3 film silent classics by Joseph von Sternberg. And it has Underworld, The Last Command, and The Docks of New York. And if you have not seen these films, I definitely recommend you check them out, especially if you're a cinema fan and you're like the roots system. Von Sternberg was a fantastic director, and this is an amazing release. We're gonna look at it. If you go online on YouTube, you can actually see the restoration, and it is insanely good. Mary has the box set, say. I'll be doing a Jess Franco one coming in the near future, Mug. So watch out for that one, by the way. It's just taking a lot of research. This is crazy. I don't think just any nudity, not that I know of. But it's a 3 Blu-ray set with a 96-page book in here, because I'm not going to call it a little booklet at 96 pages. I had Scholastics when I was a kid. A lot of books that I had come from Scholastic around 70, 80 pages long. You're a book at that point. Booklets, 50, 60 pages. When you get to 96 pages, I'm going to call you a book, even if you do seem thinner. So let's look at the booklet first. It's really neat the way it's done. So this is look how gorgeous that is. And as for it was just a still from one of the films right there. I think that's on the dock one, right? Yeah. Carnival of Souls, I need to get. So how big or how important are some of these movies? Well, we got some great actors in all these. Emil Jennings, is in The Last Command, and that's the one that he won the Oscar for. He won the Academy Award for. So we on here we got Dreamland by Jeffrey O'Brien on Underworld. Illusions and Delusions is Anton Kayes on The Last Command. On the Waterfront, Luc Sante on The Docks on New York. What's on the scores by Robert Israel, Ken Winokur, and Donald Sostin and Joanne Seaton. What's really cool is Underworld was actually based on a story that was in the Chicago Tribune. And it was written by Ben Hitch. So that story is in here complete. So that's pretty amazing in itself. I did Von Sternberg on Jennings, of course, and about the transfers themselves. And when you just look through, there's like a ton of pictures on here, and you can just see what an incredible job they did with the transfers of these here films. So let's look at each one of these here in its own like separate thing. They put these in the cardboard slim cases for this set. This is Underworld. That's a particular favorite of mine, actually. Feature-wise on here, because they do have features, they're not featureless. There are 2 scores. Each one of these films are going to have two scores with them, which is actually kind of cool. One by Robert Israel, another by Aloy Orchestra. There's a video essay from 2010 by the UCLA film professor Janet Bergstrom, and I heard that the video essay, have a great evening, Mike, is actually pretty cool on this one. I'm gonna get this. It always annoys me when you get it and like the disc is like upside down. These are all silent films. These are 3 silent classics. And I've been trying to watch more silent recently, actually. Love the way that looks, by the way. Next up we have, the one Ken just mentioned, The Last Command, which is an amazing performance by Mio Jennings. There's a reason he won an Oscar for it. It still stands to this day as being an incredible performance. Again, you're going to get two scores on this one as well. This time, again, by Robert Israel and the other by Aloy Orchestra. There is another video essay on this one here from 2010 from film scholar Tag Gallagher. I'm really actually interested in checking out these here. Have you seen the silent film about Napoleon? I don't think so. Maybe I did. But it's not sticking out to me right now. If I did, I don't remember. So that's probably a no, isn't it? This is the first best actor ever. You're right, Ken. Mio Jennings won the first best actor Oscar ever for this film. And last but definitely not least is an incredible one, and that is The Docks of New York. Love this movie as well. Actually, I love all 3 films in this set. And I've seen them all, but it's been a long time since I've seen some of them. But I definitely am gonna check this out. 2 scores again. This one is by Robert Israel, and the other one is by Donald Sussin and Joanna Seaton. There's a Swedish television interview from 1968 with the director Josef von Sternberg, which actually is pretty cool. So I recommend if you like silent films, if you want to get into silent films, if you're into horror, look at things like Nosferatu. There's definitely Nosferatu. Metropolis is a great one if you like sci-fi as well. But I do recommend, if you do like, these are really, really good. And they do stand the test of time. Actually, I don't mind the Kino version of Nosferatu, actually. I've had a couple versions of it, but I like the Kino one better. But it depends, like, on which one you got, too. I'll have to check, because I've got a release of it. I got the Kino release, and I got another release of it as well. I got a couple Nosferatu releases out there. But I don't think so. I'd have to look into it, though. So you probably know more than me. You may be right on this. I got to research that. Anything Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, Harold Lloyd, Buster Keaton. Definitely, you got to check that out. Did I watch any of the Vinegar Giallos yet? I haven't had a chance. Yesterday I worked, and then because my knee actually passed out. Frame skipping. Ooh, I gotta check that out. The first horror film is Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and it's a great one, actually. I love Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's the first one to kind of use, I don't want to give it away for a film that old, but there's a twist in the ending. It has a cool motif, which I guess will be overused later on, over and over again. But again, definitely a great one. I'm excited to have this because I don't have any Joseph von Sternberg in my collection. And I've seen a lot of his films on, throughout the years on like TCM and places like that. And how can I not have one that's actually a name that's actually sung in Logan Toxic's Criterion sale song? I gotta have that, right? I need the Marlene Dietrich set. That's my next von Sternberg set that I want to pick up. I may go with the Indicator edition of that because it's a sexier looking edition than the one that came out from Criterion. Sorry, Brian, but it's a better looking edition. And I have been collecting Indicator stuff. But I'm really glad to get this in my collection. A solid. You don't see me like usually unbox a lot of Criterion stuff. Hey, Vinny, man, welcome. You disappear, and then I get worried about you and wonder. But the Sternberg set, excited about that. Super excited again, and a big shout out to because I gave the nod to the Indicators. To Shadow again for getting me Revenge of the Living Dead Girls. I'm super stoked about this as well. I'm super stoked about it having the soundtrack. So this may launch a French horror video. So we'll look at that as well. I didn't have a lot to unbox today. A trip to the. It's on your wish list. Which one? This one or the Von Sternberg? See, I haven't checked it. I want to check this out. I have not. Is it subtitled? I do not know. Let's see. Let's see if it says. I know audio is English. Plus, there's French audio with English subtitles. So you can choose on this one here. So you can watch it subtitled, or you can watch it unsubtitled, depending on which way you would prefer. Pick your poison, basically, and how you want to watch the film. Now, it is it was correct here. Ronin Flix has got a sale going on right now. I had planned to bring that up on the computer. I forgot to do so. I'm so not prepared tonight. I got off work today. I was pretty past. Did I get Blood on Satan's Claw? No, I wish I had. That's one that I missed out on, and I do feel like I missed out on Blood on Satan's Claw. I was surprised that of all the films that Severin put out, this was one of the ones they put out for like only a weekend, because I think that if they had put out Blood on Satan's Claw with a limited edition, then with a standard release, it would have had it would have had legs. It would definitely been a top seller for Severin. Now I noticed that Severin recently announced, aside from actually this is an older one, but I haven't worn it in a while. I got it for Christmas. Now, that being said, Severin did show their box set off today of Al Amundsen that is completely in. So they are going to be shipping that out starting very soon, and they're going to be going pretty much in the order of people that ordered them. So if you ordered early on, then exactly what Cameron said right there, then you're probably going to get it a little bit earlier than a person that ordered it later in the cycle. That's what they said anyway. Hey there, Dave. So it's going to be interesting to see that. I will be unboxing the Al Amundsen set when I get it. They'll be sending them out all throughout May. Please understand. Hey, welcome, Logan. I just mentioned you actually. Please understand that that they're working with the Skeleton Crew, so it's going to take a while to get all those Al Amundsen box sets and bundles and stuff sent out. Yes, Logan, you're going to be proud of me because I finally got it. Finally have it in my collection. The Criterion song. Yes. So I have the. Do I have the sound? I do not have the sound film trip to them. I don't have a lot of sound films, actually, unfortunately. And Revenge of the Living Dead Girl, out of print Severin. I love these black cases. I love these black cases. Severin does have a new announcement coming out. And they showed the, was it a bottle of JB whiskey on the announcement as a clue, which I'm not sure about you guys, but that makes me think Jello. Is anybody thinking Jello? I haven't picked any new arrow up, and I got one arrow coming in the mail. It should be here, according to Amazon, on May the 13th. And I'm not sure if Amy is here tonight, but it is a Japanese horror trilogy that I've got coming in the mail. And that's why there's going to be a Japanese horror, a J-horror video coming up in the future. That's one thing that I'm looking into. Unfortunately, hey there, Joseph, because I am doing some like director series videos and some like some specific ones. They take longer to do. It is, Paul. You guessed that 100% right, and I'm so excited to get it. I'm a big Takeshi McKee fan. Oh yes, Tampa Video and Diabolique will be suspending their overseas shipping. Actually, in the very near future. If you've got something already like pre-ordered from them, I think that is going to go out. But anything after that point, if you go to order anything right now, they're not going to be doing overseas shipping. They can't right now. A lot of things are. It's just too hard to do. Everything is just too shut down. So hopefully this is not going to affect some of the sales, like the Severin sale coming up. I think Severin's going to have a sale close to Vinegar Syndrome. They usually do. So I'm hoping it's not going to affect those two sales. It probably won't, because as far as I'm aware, Unobstructed View usually sends out the stuff that comes from Vinegar Syndrome and from Severin as well. This here box set came from Unobstructed View, by the way. I had two other things ordered with this, but they're on back order. And there's another box set coming from Unobstructed View as well. You're a Nashi fan, Ken. Ken Dracula's Great Love's a really good one. I need to do a Nashi one. I've actually been listening to, I've been watching a bit of Nashi stuff, and I've been listening to the Nashi cast. I actually did say it, Ryan. That's what he was talking about. Was that Diabolic DVD and Tampa Bay Video were actually kind of shutting down like international shipping. It's just point today that you canceled Record Store Day. I can understand though. That's okay. I was only selling stuff printed up months back. It's good. Well, right now some things are shut down. It's a way of holding the tension and the suspense. I agree. I'm a really big fan of J-horror, and I'm gonna try and deep dive. I'm gonna cut back a bit into like some of the older stuff like Unibaba as well, because I want to have that in there. I'm a big fan of that film. It freaked me out. Some people don't consider it horror. I do. Psychological horror, but it is horror nonetheless, which may or may not have. I don't have enough Bob Pick movies. I got like the ones that came out like when I was younger, like La Bamba, which I love, and of course I had the Buddy Holly story, which for me is one of Gary Busey's best roles. He's really good in that. If you ever wondered if Gary Busey was actually a really good actor, yes, watch him in the Buddy Holly story, because that's him singing too, by the way. So that's pretty amazing, because a lot of those like films, when they do like the singing, there's other people singing, but in the Buddy Holly story, that is Gary Busey doing the singing. Name your firstborn after Joseph. Did you really? That's cool, actually. You text a girl named her Charlie. Oh, wow. And your brother half let you do that, so that's pretty cool. That's Ginger Dead Man. I'll forgive him for Ginger Dead Man. Those movies get increasingly worse as they go through. Actually, I got to do a full moon video down the road, but that's going to require watching some good films and a lot of pain as well. So, because I'm gonna have to watch Evil Bong films, and I don't know if you've ever watched Evil Bong films, but let me put it to you this way: after the first one, you can tap out right about there after the first film. You really can. I'm not even joking there. It's returned as a horror film. I would say it's a horror film the way that certain, like The Gate is a horror film, or Monster Squad is a horror film. It has horror, like definitely aspects of a horror into the film itself, and it definitely freaked people out. Nashi fans, Mummy's Revenge and Assignment Terror is included in the Ronin sale. So there, if you're a Nashi fan, I would love to have Mummy's Revenge. Actually, that's definitely on my want list. I don't remember Assignment Terror as well, to be completely honest with you. But if you're gonna watch either the Chronos. Well, I saw it under its original title, which I own it under. I had the Anchor Bay release of Hell of the Living Dead. So I really didn't need to watch the Corona Zombies one. At first, I thought it was just something in poor taste, because Charles Band is known for doing things in poor taste, and not in the good way. But it actually was just pretty, silly. Basically what it is, if nobody's seen it, the one that Logan's talking about, what he did really was he shot like a pretty cheap wraparound with this girl, and but he had like most of it was Hell of the Living Dead with a little bit of Zombies versus Strippers, I think, is the other film in there, and they had like kind of like voiceover. Think of like A Man Called Rainbow, for instance, if you can remember that film. What was the one that came out? Was it Charlie Chan or something like that? Or the Woody Allen one that was done, where basically it's an old movie kind of voiced over. Exactly, what's a Pussycat? I tried to watch it. I'll be honest, Logan. I did. The jokes were pretty bad. Like really, Woody Allen, what's up, Pussycat? Amazing. Coronavirus Zombies, not so much. But they, to each their own. Like the humor that gets you, or something can get you at the right time. And if it makes somebody kind of feel a little bit like less stressed, that's always a good thing. Now I got to mention something. I actually have dived into a streaming service in the last little while, and it's probably not the one you're thinking of. But I'm going to let you guess really quickly. I'm looking at a new streaming service that I've been watching. So, guesses. Not Criterion Channel, a little bit on the expensive side right now. I would love to have the Criterion Channel. But new streaming service. To me. Because I got Shudder already. So it's not that. But I think it's going to be one that you're not thinking about. I don't think anybody's going to say it, actually. And it is Quibi. I was watching Quibi. Reflex. No, but that'd be hilarious. I actually heard about Quibi. And have you heard of Quibi? Has anybody heard of this? It's good. Quibi is a streaming service that is made for your phone. The videos are done in usually 8 to 10 minute segments. And a video can go on to have a whole pretty much a movie and it was actually pretty cool. Right now it's got a 90-day free trial, so I said I'm definitely gonna give it a try. I remember I was listening to a Pure Cinema podcast, and after it I turned on Shockwaves, and Shockwaves mentioned on there as well. And the next day I was like, I need something to watch that I can watch on my phone, in between, when I'm working, I'm on my break. I only have 15-minute breaks, so I obviously can't watch a full movie in that period of time. Now I started there. I heard about the 50 Stages of Fear. That's what got me interested in it. And I got the subscription. I turned it on, and the first thing I saw wasn't 50 Stages of Fear, which is what I was going to go to, but there was a kind of a film on there starring Dane DeHaan, and it was called The Stranger. And basically, it is a horror film, psychological. It's a thriller, and it is about a driver, like an Uber type driver. It's like they call it Orbit. So she's new in town. She's a screenwriter, and she wants to make it in Hollywood. And she picks up this guy, and he seems pretty charming, but also a little like little on. It's Dane DeHaan. You know he's going to be like that. He was in Chronicle. He was in Amazing Spider-Man 2. You know what Dane DeHaan is like. So he pretty much tells her, okay, I killed the people in that house, and then I killed their. Then I went and I killed their kids. There's a dead body in the bag in the back seat that and also I'm probably going to kill you if you don't tell me a story, because you're a writer after all. So you tell me a story or you die. And that is where the first part ends. And it sets up this amazingly kind of long, dark kind of race through Hollywood at night, where basically seems to be at least one or two steps ahead of her every time. I did watch the entire thing. It ran 13 episodes running from around 8 to 7 or 8 minutes each. So it's a feature-length film, basically, altogether. I then watched the first three-parter for the 50 Stages of Fright, which was, it was good. It was one of those that you don't realize you know, but it's based on like an actual urban legend, and it's called The Golden Arm. So, without giving too much away, it is, if you know the legend of the Golden Arm, then you're gonna know where this is going. There is a cringe scene. So there's like kind of it's not like they show a lot, but there's a sequence where somebody gets hurt, and somebody's arm gets stuck under a tree, and they're trying to get the arm out. And they don't show a lot, but the actually you can hear, and man did I cringe. But it's been great so far. Also checked out the first 2 episodes of The Dummy, which is Anna Kendrick with Donald Logue actually playing Dan Harmon. And pretty much in that one, she finds out that that Donald Logue, her boyfriend, has a doll that he got from Japan, a specific type of doll. So he doesn't want to show it to her. In the middle of the night, she wakes up and she goes to the washroom. She hears something, and she goes into his closet, kind of to check. And she opens up the closet door, and there's the doll talking to her. It's pretty cool so far, and I want to see where it goes, but it's been really funny. Anna Kendrick is funny, and Donald Logue, I like anyway. Everything that he's in. He did like a comedy TV, a sitcom that I can't remember the name of right now, but I used to watch it a lot. And of course, it's in Gotham, because he was, a Bullock. But and he did a short run in Law and Order SVU as well. He's great in that. He's great in everything he does. But that's what I've seen so far. Did you really? That's pretty cool. But it was interesting, and I've liked it. I've liked kwibi so far. Be interesting to see how deep it goes. But it's I didn't think I was going to like it, but it's those short things. It's just the right amount, and it ends. It's like, think like adult Goosebumps type of thing, where basically you get to the end of the chapter. Was that person behind me? Huh? No one. You realize I can see, right? This is a camera after all. But I actually enjoyed. It's like the Goosebumps, where like the chapter ends with I think it's like $6.99 a month. I'm not sure, but the first 3 months are free. So I'm grabbing the first 3 months, and we'll see from there. Like if there's a lot of stuff on there, I'll go after that. If not, then I got 3 free months. So that's okay. You would think like so if there I need see one of these people why don't they sponsor me? One of these, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, Quibi, why can't one of you guys sponsor me? So, I think I do a good job of talking about your stuff. But I really enjoyed this. I really did. I'm excited to see Sam Raimi's next episode of 50 Stages of Fright and go from there with that as well. So that's been pretty cool so far. And that's what I've been doing and watching recently. So I've unboxed stuff. I have watched The Mandalorian. I did. I like The Mandalorian. We had that oh god, the mixed martial artist girl, she's super cute in The Mandalorian. But I think I got one episode left to watch. I think we went to Morocco just before we finished it, just before the last episode came out, and we just haven't got back to watch the last one yet. And they ended on a big cliffhanger too, so we gotta watch the last one. Yeah, like the other like bounty hunter, the one that he meets in that when he goes to that place, kind of like a sanctuary type place. The girl that he meets there, that and she'll come back later on. They all kind of come back later on. That's kind of cool. Spoiler if you haven't watched The Mandalorian. It's a really kind of a cool Disney Plus show. Though I hope people that got Disney Plus aren't getting Disney Plus just because of the new show. Get it because, well, there's a lot of Disney stuff out there and a lot of stuff like that as well. Yes, give me a like spike, which is a new word that I found out today. My better half said, have you ever asked for a like spike? And I was like, what the hell's a like spike? So my better half apparently watches a lot of streams. And the one that we do watch together is the Wrestle Talks Quizomania. Or if you like wrestling or quizzy type of shows, definitely check that out, by the way. But she heard it on one of those Wrestle Talk, or I think Wrestle Talk or Cultaholic. Probably Cultaholic. She watches a lot of Cultaholic. They're ones. So she said, give a like spike. So first time I heard that, I feel kind of weird saying it. But if you're here, please hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, that type of thing, all that jazz. What is my favorite Giallo film? That's a good question, Dave. And it segues into the Ask Aaron a Question section of this video. And that is my Tenebrae. Tenebrae is my favorite Giallo. I think if I had to go with a second one, it's Strange Vices of Mrs. Ward. And number 3 is Your Vice is a Locked Room and Only I Have the Key. Those are my top 3 Giallos. Number 4, probably Deep Red. Try to act like real people. Well, it started in the 90s, actually, when the real thing, WCW tried to make a kind of a more realistic style to their, kind of like reality-based wrestling. And of course, when Vince Russo did it, he did the whole Crash TV, Jerry Springer type of thing. Scorpion, yes, it is true. Grunt, the wrestling movie, is being released, and I am going to buy it. Suspiria, I don't see, Paul, as a Giallo. I know people go back and forth on that, but I personally don't see Suspiria as being a Giallo film. It's more supernatural. Brian, you gotta watch Tenebrae. Not only is it a great film, and it really is a great film with just a crusher of an ending, lovely ending. But it is probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. I had when I was working at a bank, I used to have an iPod with me, which unfortunately got bricked. But one of the things that was on that iPod was the soundtrack to Tenebrae, and I listened to it all the time. It was just a great soundtrack. I think Claudio Simonetti did the soundtrack to Tenebrae. Oh, if you like Stendhal, you're gonna love Tenebrae. Stendhal's good. I love Stendhal and the beauty and the art of Stendhal, but Tenebrae is 10 times the film that Stendhal is. So if you like Stendhal, you're gonna love Tenebrae. And it's even got the man John Saxon in it as well. The latest Dario Argento movie coming out, by the way, is going to be scored by one of my favorite bands, which is Daft Punk. I'm extremely excited to see how that goes. Because obviously, for those that are familiar or not quite familiar with John Saxon, I think he is, right? He still is. Your favorite jazz is The Washing Machine, a good movie. Diodato. But when Dario Argento started, he Soundtrack-wise, he worked with Ennio Morricone for his first few films. Him and Morricone, they didn't really get along. It was like Oil and Water was a bit of a mix there. But Morricone did some really great work for him. He moved on from Morricone. He wanted to go with a more progressive sound, and he got Goblin and and of course Claudio Simonetti in Goblin. He worked with Claudio Simonetti on his own as well. He worked. Oh God, there's another guy that did a soundtrack for him too. A famous singer that I'm not remembering right now. Famous musician, not remembering right now. So he went there, and he's gotten more progressive as he's gotten through when it comes to his horror soundtracks especially. And to see like Daft Punk do a soundtrack, and I mean like or hate Tron Legacy, the Daft Punk soundtrack is the best thing about that particular film. Like hands down, it's the best thing about Tron Legacy. And if you're not a fan of Daft Punk, listen to more Daft Punk because they do some really cool stuff. It'll be really interesting to see. And I'm thinking, Blood and Guts. I got to check out Blood and Guts. Actually, I did see that one a long time ago. Is that it on Blu-ray yet? That Tenebrae is kind of like, in a way, it's not sci-fi or futuristic, but Tenebrae is one of those films that if you've seen Tenebrae, it's very, very medically clean. It's almost like it's shot like 5 minutes in the future, where things are just kind of like clean and spotless. So Tenebrae had a little bit of that pulsating kind of maybe a tinge of the futuristic in the soundtrack. So I can see Daft Punk doing something along that lines. Oh, the Tenebrae Steelbook's amazing because you get the documentary, Dave. And if you don't or have not seen the Giallo documentary that's on that Steelbook, I 110% recommend that you check that out. But please have watched a few Giallos before you do, because it is going to spoil a lot of the Giallo genre and a lot of them for you, because they go into a lot of spoiler territory. 4 different Arrow copies of Tenebrae. I got 2 actually. I have the original like slipcover DVD of Tenebrae because I was going to buy the Blu-ray at the time, and they told me that the Blu-ray isn't a very the DVD of Tenebrae is actually better than the original Blu-ray edition of Tenebrae, and then I got the new upgraded edition of it. Thank you, Adam. This is actually one of my favorite T-shirts. I got this at Christmas, and then I was gifted the Steelbook, the Synapse Steelbook of Tenebrae, which was my 3rd version of the film. I do think that Daft Punk and Dario Argento will be great together. For other films, oh, you got that 5 like films like Giallo set that they put out. The one with like like Hitchcock and Tenebrae and like what else is on the Deep Red, I think, and a couple others. Who Googled what? John Saxon's 85. Somebody mentioned Wim Smith. I'm a huge Wim Smith fan, by the way. Blood and Guts. Okay, so that's Wim Smith. Did I ever see Candy? I actually own Candy. Kino Lorber put that out, if we're talking about the same film. It's an odd little film, like Ringo Starr's in it, a bunch of stars in the movie. It's been a while since I watched it. But yeah, it's got a great cast, actually. And it's an odd film, but I enjoy it. Ever see Tron Uprising cartoon series? I've only seen a little bit of it, to be honest with you, Alan. I didn't really get into the Tron cartoon series that much. I, at that time, wasn't watching a lot of that stuff. It is a weird movie. There's like a ton of actors on it too. But I definitely want to check out more of that. Me and my better half, I've been watching a lot of Scooby-Doo. We got like Scooby-Doo Dynamite. We were watching that. We got it like around 2 years ago. We just finally started watching it. And we're like kind of in the mode where like, we're going to buy more animation down the road, because it's our happy spot. Not a big fan of Steelbooks. See, Synapse does the best with Steelbooks. They really do. Marlon Brando's Guru, that is. They put a lot of people in that film. The Snap Steelbooks are so expensive though. That's the killer part. I mean, I got Tenor in my collection. I could not have afforded it if at the time, especially at the time, because they are pricey. If you live in the U.S., it's not so bad, but if you live in Canada, you take a big hit. And Radiant Warlock's not here tonight, but if they were, they definitely tell you about it. Like I do like steelbooks every once in a while, but if I have the choice, I want reversible artwork. So I will go with the reversible artwork first. If they're the same, for instance. You have over 500 steelbook. That is impressive, Paul, man. I don't even have 50 steelbooks. I mean, like I probably got somewhere more in the range of like maybe 30 or so, 30 or 40, somewhere like that. If that much. I 30 might be stretching it actually. But yeah, a lot of times I had the choice to get a steelbook and it was the same price or maybe even a little bit cheaper sometimes. But I love reversible artwork. That's kind of that's one of my key things. And I gotta be there. I'm the reversible artwork guy. Oh, have a great night. There's Alan. Enjoy your evening. This is gonna be one of my 10 steelbooks. So yeah, you're kind of in my range there. A lot of my steelbooks were Arrow ones. I got a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one. I'm not sure if it's a steelbook or it's like, is it a steelbook? Do we have the same one? Or it's almost like it's like a steelbook. But I got a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one. Maybe we got the same one then. 2 DVD, that's the one. It was put out by Dark Sky, right? I think it was Dark Sky, but I'd have to look again. Ultimate Edition Steelbook, that's definitely the one. And then I upgraded to the Black Maria, but I won't get rid of my Steelbook. You are like one of the Steelbook kings, Spalding. Perfect Django. I almost got the Django one actually. I was at a store. I was at Bay Street Video, and I was trying to convince them to sell it to me because they actually had a copy. They didn't at the time. I think if I kind of pushed it a bit, I might have been able to get it. But I had spent a lot of money at the time, and we're talking about quite a bit of money, actually, at the place. So I probably should have went that little extra mile and just got that as well. I bought a lot of Severin that week at Bay Street Video, which is in Ontario, by the way. You have 2 copies of what? Of the Django one? Oh man. Or do you mean the Texas Chainsaw one? Either way, it's cool. It was recalled extremely quickly. Because Blue Underground, those bastards, just put out like just put a kind of slap down on it. Blue Underground, Jason. Blue Underground just said, no, we got the rights to Django. You know, you got to put it back. So they had this like at a Django at a Texas Audio in it as well. Like they had both those films in that Steelbook, by the way, and they had to like recall them all. I'm sure, like especially if it's a Steelbook edition, must have cost Arrow a fortune for that. So yeah, and they had the better like features and stuff apparently. So and I used to have the Blue Underground edition, and I will tell you right now there was not a lot of features on Blue Underground edition. So to pull the copyright thing, Blue Underground, you better be putting out a lenticular cover edition of Django down the road with a ton of special features. Because if not, and you like stop Arrow from putting it out, that's just shady, man. That's just shady. Because we don't want to buy your old unremastered Django copy. I'm sorry, we don't. just gonna put that out there. The Emery edition. I would like to have either one of them, but the one I picked up was the Steelbook edition, and I would love to own it actually. I'm a big fan of that film actually, Django. I had the old like Blue Underground DVD of it. It does have to. It is such a good film, and it is such a classic spaghetti western. If you're a spaghetti western fan, guys, like there's certain ones that you gotta have. Grab the Arrow Sartana set, like 100%. That's really, really good. Make sure Django's in your collection. Excellent one. The Great Silence, I don't have that on my collection yet, but I do have to get it. Fantastic Western. And of course, the Ringo double feature, actually, I recommend to people if they haven't checked it out. Arrow put that out as well, and it usually is on for a decent price during their sales. And usually, sometimes £10 or under. So that's always a plus right there. I still haven't done my Western one. I was supposed to do a Western one with Jace. And you prefer Django Unchained, really? See, I like the original. I do love Django Unchained, don't get me wrong. I think it's a great film. Corbucci's incredible. I like Sergio Corbucci. Yeah, The Great Silence. Definitely one worth checking out. And that's Corbucci, by the way. Pretty sure it's Corbucci. But yeah, that's one. And a little bit on the, not really so much like a spaghetti. I guess it's kind of spaghetti westerns. It's the, but it's a different one. But I enjoy it. It's Cutthroats 9. Anybody here seen Cutthroats 9? It's Spanish, I think. It's Spanish. I don't have the studio intro. I wish I did because I'm going to be doing a Lucio Fulci like video, and contrary to popular belief, when I do these live videos, I actually put research into these things. So that's why certain videos take longer than others. Stephen Thorpe did a really good one. I think there's a good one. Was it? Did Troy Haworth do one as well? I know he did one on Bava, and I know he did a Nashi one too, I think. I got like the first volume of So Sweet, So Perverse, and I have the Bava one from Haworth, and so I got to get more. Like every year, my dad gets me a book, usually for my birthday or for Christmas, and he got me the Justin Kurzweil one, the Slasher one, and he got me the Bava one, and my better half got me one year the So Sweet, So Perverse. I got to get the other 2 volumes. Gates of Hell from Scorpion is being released on June 2nd. There's a second volume of Jess Franco. I did not know the second volume, actually. I don't think I did. But I would love to have it. I'm a huge Lucio Fulci fan. I was talking on here, I think, about around 2 or 3 videos ago, about Jess Franco. And I think one person was like, Jess Franco just makes sleazy stuff. And I'm like, no, Jess Franco makes really good videos, like movies as well, especially his earlier stuff when he was kind of restricted by censorship at the time. And I will eventually be doing a Jess Franco video on here. So one thing that I recommend is The Diabolical Dr. Z. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good one. It is definitely an earlier one. It's not sleazy. Don't expect nudity or anything in that one. But it's definitely an earlier one from Franco. It's a really good one though. It's got the Franco stalwart Howard Vernon in it, of course. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check out The Diabolical Dr. Z. There's homework for when I do my Franco video. It's really good, isn't it? Yeah, and it's and the twist at the beginning, because you think this dude is going to be the Diabolical Dr. Z, and it's not. It goes in a different direction. I really like that. Faceless definitely needs a Blu-ray. I actually really like Bloody Moon too. That's kind of Franco's slasher film. But definitely kind of a different. This one he's getting obviously bloodier territories, but it's not as bloody. Bloody Moon actually is not as bloody as you would think it would be. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it is. But his early stuff, especially his early stuff, is very reminiscent of like Diablo Dr. Z as kind of like an edgy universal tone to it. It is a mad scientist one. She Killed in Ecstasy almost in a weird way is kind of it's not like a remake of Diabolical Dr. Z, but it's definitely, there's definitely like tonal and like there's things in it that are very similar to that as well. Of course, there's more nudity in She Killed in Ecstasy, of course. Are there still theaters that show adult cinema? That's a good question. Not around here. Now, I say most of the adult cinema now was shown in adult theaters. Back in the day, though, you have to understand adult cinema was much different than it is right now. I don't know a lot about like the stuff that comes out now. I'm more my expertise, if you want to say that, is in the 70s to the 80s, when they had a lot of like story based stuff. So at that point, like actual mainstream audiences were going to see movies together. Adult films like things like Deep Throat and Insatiable in the theater, and talking about it was water cooler stuff. But as it became less story oriented, I guess, and more clip and that type of stuff, then it kind of went away from that and went more towards the direct home video market. I'm sure that there are still probably some adult theaters out there, but I can't imagine going to watch like one of the films in a theater now. All the horror films don't have DVD, don't have Blu-ray releases yet. There's even horror films don't have DVD releases yet. It's the killer part, Dave, when you think about it. There are so many, and you don't realize it. And then there's more, because you get out there, and then Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or a company like that announces something, and it's a movie that you don't even think about. Oh yeah, it'll be in Montreal. If there's gonna be an adult theater, it's gonna be Montreal. Montreal is a place where a lot of like the adult industry in Canada is done. They have a really really kind of big industry there. There's always that running joke thing in with me, is that when I was in Ottawa, I was gonna go back to acting, and I took an interview with a couple about a film, because I saw an ad for it, and I had gotten the host. I was there pretty much ready to give me the role, and I found it was an adult film, and I didn't do it. But have I ever been to adult? I haven't been to like full disclosure. I've never even been to a strip club. So yeah, I haven't been to an adult cinema. I have not been to like even to like a strip club either. So neither one of those. Just never really got around to it type thing. I know, pretty lame. I know, but no. Like I have friends, and I knew people that worked in the industry and stuff like that, but oh, eventually. Dwayne, that's the thing. I am one of those carpe diem type people. So try everything once, sure. I just haven't got around to it yet. One of these days I'll go with my better half. There was one in Montreal, actually. I'm not sure if it's still open up or not. That's supposed to be pretty amazing. But I've been to a burlesque show. Does that count? So that sort of, right? It's more art than that, but. When you're 16. Or the horror films that don't have Blu-ray. Oh. You subscribe to Playboy channel? So you know about like Night Calls and Seven Lives Exposed and stuff like that, right? Burlesque is fun. One of my better halves, one of her friends is a New York burlesque performer and teacher too. Great girl, by the way. Really, really smart girl. And put us off a great show. I've only been once to anything like that, actually. Place. Oh, that'll be interesting. Oh, to the magazine. Well, I never had subscription to the magazine, but I always used to buy the ones when, because I'm a geek with the interviews that I liked. Gita Wilson, she was in a few actually. Like, God, she was in like this what was it, this women's prison one that I liked a lot. How do we get on the topic of this? Anyway, let's switch gears a bit. Before I end the video tonight, the Jess Franco movie. That's what does. Yeah, don't go get me demonetized, guys. I'm gonna have to go all like. I keep my after dark stuff for my super chat stuff because I get demonetized super on those. Somebody thumbs down the video. Oh, it's always gonna be some jerk that comes in and like thumbs down. Like I think last time there was like 2 people that did. And that's okay, Jason. That did the thumbs down. No, you didn't get me in trouble. That's perfectly fine. If I didn't want to talk about a subject, I would not talk about it. But I like to keep things open. That this was specifically meant to be a Q&A type of thing. That's exactly what it is. So no regrets, right? Yeah, even thumbs down are viewers, but I'll be honest with you, thumbs downs, the way the algorithm thing works on YouTube for people that aren't aware is that when you like a video, for instance, then each like on that video lets YouTube know to kind of push your video up the request list when people are looking for like say people are looking for movie videos or Jess Franco or Severin or Criterion or something like that. If there are a lot of likes on that video, then YouTube's algorithm will, when people are looking, they'll put in Criterion or put in one of the other things. Then the amount of likes can put your channel, for instance, down at the bottom or kind of up higher in the list so more people see your videos. So that's so likes are actually extremely important when it comes to YouTube videos. And people think, or they forget and stuff like that. You get paid a lot of money. No, I mean, like I'm sure if you're like a PewDiePie or like a bigger channel, then yes. But I've got a small channel, so yeah, for me to get like the way that it works normally is that there is a threshold, and here I'll take you behind the curtain. So you monetize a video, and you first have to get up to the right amount of viewers to monetize that video. But before you do that, you got to get up to the right amount of viewers and viewership and watch time to have your video be allowed to be over 15 minutes. If you've got a smaller channel, a lot of the videos have to be under 15 minutes. As your channel gets a little bit bigger, then it lets you kind of reach out and do longer videos. When you get to the point where you can actually try and monetize the video, then you have to put it at a benchmark. The lowest benchmark on YouTube is $100. So when I do a video, and depending on how many likes it gets and how many people watch it, and the length of the watch time, because that matters too, somebody can't come in and go out in like 5 seconds, because if they do, that doesn't count as a viewer. They had to be there in a certain engagement time for you to get for them to be counted as a viewer on your video. Now you have to reach the $100 mark, but before you can get before that gets cashed out into a like you have something called Google AdSense, and before that can be cashed out and you get $100, which is obviously not very much money. There are people that come on here and they can make like $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 like on every month or something like that. There are people that have smaller channels like me where it can sometimes take 2 to 3 months and sometimes more to even reach that $100 threshold. So that's kind of the way that it works with that. Now, because YouTube's made it a little bit harder over the years to even reach that threshold, it takes longer. So it takes more months for it to go through to make $100. So can you imagine working at a job and making $100 in 3 months? That's kind of what YouTube is like. And that is why you see so many people that like don't go so much with the monetization of their channel, is they'll have like a merch store, or they'll have like a Patreon, like I do, because you're not going to make, you you don't make enough money to survive like on YouTube. If I had to survive off YouTube, I'd be screwed. YouTube right now really wants big creators, is what it seems like. So the smaller guys like me, we do this for mostly just like I would never do this for monetary reasons. I do this because I enjoy it. And I would have given up long ago. Monetary reasons, I would have been gone. But I enjoy it. The Arrow versus Scream Factory is one of my best for sure. Shame on you, Scream Factory, by the way. Is another one that is actually pretty big, a big watch one for me as well. And but yeah, I've had a few that have gone into the thousands but it's taken a long period of time. Now, back when I was doing this like 4 or 5 years ago, an average like viewership video for me was like 20 views in a video, and I still look back at some of my older ones. I'm like, I did some good stuff there, but nobody saw it. Like I found that I did like a Charlie Chan, like I started reviewing all the Charlie Chan films, and after a while, like just the viewership like dwindled off on those films, and I was like, you can't even it doesn't matter what you're doing it for, if nobody watches, it can get a little disheartening, and that's kind of like the behind the scenes. That's a little bit of peek behind the curtain, and I'm glad you asked actually. So that's how it works. If you're in YouTube to make a lot of money, then all the power to you, and I hope that you can do it. But for somebody like me, I've got a smaller channel, and it's a labor of love. I'm working towards doing like a podcast as well, and that too is going to be a labor of love. But that is going to, like, I'm definitely going to be doing Patreon supporting for the podcast, because that's going to take more equipment than I do for this right here. You wonder why somebody only have 10 minutes? That's the reason, actually. Is that there's a certain like viewership. There used to be, anyway. I'm not sure if it still is. But when I started making videos, they couldn't go over 15 minutes long, so I'd have to make a lot of like videos called cinema t-shirts. It's cool. I mean, if I thought I could get enough people and I could get the right design for it, I would definitely do that. Or at least do like send out like an iron-on or something like that, some kind of cool thing. But it's finding like the right people or the right company to do something like that. I'm still like, somebody sent me a Call to Cinema mug, which is still one of my like that is baller, man. That is super cool. Call to Cinema t-shirts. That is cool. I will actually think about that. Said time for tea. Yeah, get like the whole thing on there. Time for tea, like the one with Call to Cinema, or Call to Cinema with Time for Tea and back, or vice versa, something like that. Yeah, I eventually I want to do some of that stuff, because it's like this is my passion. When I retire, well, when I go into semi-retirement over in Morocco, that stuff is going to that'll be more important for me then, because then my channel and my podcast is going to be definitely a part of my of what I do. I'd love to have Brink Stevens. Tiffany Shepis, by the way. I'm a huge fan of Tiffany Shepis. Great, cool, like indie scream actress. Felissa Rose too. I remember early on, in the early days of like Facebook, that one of the first people I actually got to speak to, I think it was through Facebook, I'm pretty sure it was through Facebook, was Felissa Rose. And I said at the time that if I ever went back into writing films again, that I would definitely write a role for her, because I used to write films, like low budget films. Finger Cinema Sale? Grandma's House. Oh, Grandma's House. Yeah, let me know what you think of that one, actually. That's a cool little film. Disney Movie Club exclusive Blu-ray of Scarecrow. Sort of, Ryan. Not really, but kind of. I don't have the Disney. I don't have the Blu-ray. I have the DVD. I've got the DVD tin of it though, so that's actually pretty cool. But I haven't got the I haven't got the Blu-ray. I'm not in the Disney Club. I was actually for a little bit. The Irishman is getting Criterion release. I haven't seen that yet. I started watching it, but I never got through it. Who would be my dream interview per genre? Oh, good. That is a great question, actually. For me, let's do like the different genres. For Giallo, it's got to be a Dario Argento and Zia Argento. Like, so I want to have both of them. I would love to interview both of them. I'm, as you know, I was in love with Zia Argento. She was just like one of my crushes. All right, I haven't said this in a long time, but on the Google Doc list, that would be a T-shirt thing. Google Doc list candidate. There's for oh God, adult Kay Parker, for sure, and definitely Kay Parker, because she was in the industry for like a long period of time, and Ginger Lynn too. Loved to interview both them. Scream Queens, like you gotta like 13 Wolfman's interviewed them all. Yeah, so if you haven't watched it, like you haven't seen 13 Wolfman's channel when he interviews he interviews like a lot of Scream Queens and people like that on his channel. He's very lucky. Elvira would definitely be up there with one of the people. I love to talk to people like Joe Bob Briggs and Rob Zombie. Although I'm not a huge Rob Zombie like Halloween movie fan, I do think he's one of the bigger minds when it comes to horror. That he knows his stuff. Linnea Quigley, 100%, and Eli Roth. Yeah, Eli Roth, Tarantino. I think I would get along with them because we have geeky movie ideas. You saw Parasite finally? Parasite was on iTunes for rent for 99 cents actually. That's the thing. Like the guys like that really kind of stick with you. Ron Shear from Up All Night, amazing. I never got to see as much Up All Night or as much of the earlier Joe Bob Briggs stuff that you guys in the United States did. We didn't really have someone over here so much that I can actually think of. I do remember watching some Zachary when I was. He's passed away now, but there was a guy named Zachary. He was I think it was a weatherman, and he did this he did like a horror host type of thing, and he actually put out this clip video tape I used to have as my Bible was Zachary's Horrible Horror, and it was really good. The movie champ for on Monster Vision. Joe Bob is big, not just because like he did Monster Vision, he does Last Drive-In, but Joe Bob was that guy that would shine a light on these films that nobody was talking about at the time. There was no YouTube back then, and if you watched a movie review channel, you would hope that they would put in a horror movie every once in a while, and even then they rag on them half the time. If you watch Cisco Near, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But Joe Bob, he would look at the movies, at the drive-in films, at the stuff that nobody else talked about. Ever watched A Wedding Singer? That's an odd question, but yes, I have. I actually really like The Wedding Singer. I'm an 80s guy, remember? So a lot of 80s music in there. Linnea Quigley, Vice Academy 1 and 2, such a good set. Like the third, I hope they put it 4 to 6. I know no Linnea Quigley in 4 to 6, but I do want to see Voice Academy 4 to 6 put out there as well. So show you Manuel Bang, really? Yeah, that's a different film. I'm hoping that we're going to get like a good announcement. I'll be on here tomorrow, by the way. More than likely, I'm going to do my best. We're going to talk about the Severin announcement tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be a big announcement. They're kind of like the JB thing makes me think Jello, but I know that there is a Black Emmanuel set coming out there, and I am super excited about that. I don't want it to come too soon because I got some stuff coming now that I got. Well, I got the LMs that's already paid for, but there's also the Gamma set coming from Arrow Video eventually, July I think that one is, and I got a Doctor Who set coming as well. So like the latest Tom Baker one coming from the UK. I'm not quite sure how that's going to get here, or if it's going to get here in July. I think it may take a little bit longer. Hope it's not just Blu-rays out there. Well, the thing is, they're older Emmanuel. Some of it's like not available right now, right? Like they did two box sets in the old days of Black Manuel. They put Black Manuel Volume 1 and Volume 2 out. So I want to see like a big set. I like to see a Joe D'Amato set too, you know? But the other guy who directed, but not Joe D'Amato. You know, not a Joe D'Amato fan? I like Joe D'Amato. He did like some really kind of cool films. And I'd eventually like to, like, because there's some people, and there's certain films that aren't going to fit into my director stuff. So I don't know, sure if I'm going to do it like as in like a kind of like a slasher video one, or kind of an Italian video one, or like a or like just like kind of one-offs, or like Italian horror as well. Because there's just such good stuff out there from people that haven't made it. Sleeping Beauty, I think I've got Blu-ray of that one. So there's going to be like a lot of different stuff, and that's the thing with me. It all depends on like what I get watched, and how much like research I have to do. I am lucky in the fact that I have a weird ability to remember insanely odd movie trivia, but that I still want to like come in with at least a little bit of like watch a few of the films before I actually do a video on it. So there's a few that I want to talk about. I like to like talk about like Delirium on here sometime. It's a Serena Grande film, and which I actually really liked. That one, it stood out. It really stood out to me when I saw it, and it was just such a weird, unique film. If you've seen it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a film where this killer is stalking Serena Grande, and the neat thing, the twist on this one is the killer has like these kind of weird, strange like delusions and psychopathic like images and stuff in his head, but we see like what he sees. So there's one sequence where there's this person, and it's like a huge, like they look like just like a huge eyeball, and it's called Delirium. I think I got it correctly. I don't know what her real name is. I don't know. It's Serena Grande. Serena Grande is an Italian actress, gorgeous girl, voluptuous. The Wind is Nico Mistarakis. I'm going to eventually do a video on him. I got to watch The Wind yet, though. I haven't seen that in a while. Delirium's on your shelf just waiting. Delirium's a fun one. I don't want to give too much of it away, but it's the thing. That's the neat like twist in it, is that you see through this killer's eyes, and the killer has some like twisted like views on people in certain points, where his delirium basically comes into play, and we see kind of what he sees. We see through his eyes. So that's one that I got to rewatch it though before I get like do a dive on that one. But hopefully you guys will like something like that. I'm planning to like hopefully do some reviews, and I'll finish out the reviews with a Q&A. Do maybe I try to run my videos now from maybe like an hour long to like for some of the long ones go to 2 hours and stuff like that. 80 minutes is a sweet spot for me, I find, with my with my videos right here. But the day for yesterday, I made a video showing off the Vinegar Syndrome April package. If you haven't seen that, please check it out. And it ran just around 59 minutes, and I felt perfect with it because I felt I got everything that I needed to get in that video, and nothing seemed like filler. Everything seemed to be right there. A Ghost and Mission Kill. I haven't bought any Code Reds in a while. Last time was through. It wasn't Bay Street. It was probably during the one of the sales that happened on Screen Archives. That's usually where I get my Code Red stuff from. and usually it's when their sales are like we go on really cheap, like they're $1.99 DVD sales type of thing. But I haven't bought anything like in a while. So the stuff that you're seeing come now is stuff that was bought like a while back, and so this was a few weeks back when they started off their 30% off sale on unobstructed view. This was there. This was picked up by my better half, and I picked up the more sleazier stuff. I do try to cover as much as I possibly can in a video, but I don't. I try not to. Hopefully, and I don't seem like. I don't want to seem like I don't want to pad, basically, as I don't want to do just padding. I talk to the amount that you talk to me and like your questions. If I feel like I'm rambling on, then I know, okay, it's time for my tea now. And other times my voice just goes on. I like when I can do. I love the video. I love the Vinegar Syndrome videos. I do find that a lot of people do tend to like those because, in all honesty, it's like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin and me are. It's a match made. What do I think of Delta Force? Actually, I thought Delta Force was fun. Haven't seen the sequel in a while, but it's as fun as Chuck Norris. It's just a Chuck Norris film. Kinda, yeah. I mean, like, I started watching and like doing Vinegar Syndrome videos basically, and you remember this, Brian. You're back here at that point. I started off doing a WTF year, where basically I was going to spend the year doing WTF films that are just about out there because I really like those films. I like B grade and Z grade cinema, and it just kind of aligned that Vinegar Syndrome started to become popular at around the same time that I started to do this WTF year thing. Because I was trying at the time, I was trying to like loftily goal of kind of like theming a year long of videos like that. And so I started buying a lot of Vinegar Syndrome. And yeah, I really fell in love with the company, and they started to make some big like pushes forward, and they started to become bigger. And more recently, when I went to Bay Street Video when I was in Ontario, I really kind of fell in love with a lot of stuff that Severin was doing and the soundtracks and stuff like that. So another one another company, like these seem to go hand in hand. AGFA is another one that I got to get more of. I got to see your questions there. Is there anything in Giallo that I don't have but I love to have? There's a ton of Giallo that I don't have that I would love to have, and I want to do like a dedicated Giallo video. So I won't answer that question totally, but I'll give you like a couple that I need in my collection. So let's just see. Giallo wise, God, there's a lot. There are so many Giallos that I don't have. There's even like some Nashi Giallo stuff I don't have. I got the ones on the second volume, the ones on the first volume that Scream Factory put out. But I got most of the I really want, and I guess this kind of is a supernatural Giallo, but one of my dream things to find one of these days is, and I do have an edition of it, but Arrow Video put out this limited edition version of Phenomenon, which is a film I really like actually, and it had like I love to have that. There's also a few of the. Let me think about it. I'll do a video on it, actually. That's a really great question, by the way. My opinion on Fantaterra. Hey, welcome, Emir. I don't know Fantaterra. So I wish I had an opinion to give you. Mondo Macabre is a lot of stuff that I still haven't got from them. I got a few Mondo Macabre. You've seen my video on that. But there's still a lot that I need to get from Mondo Macabre. There some really good ones, and there's a couple Francos that I missed out on as well. So I love to have all their like who can kill a child, definitely is one on my list. The one I got coming right now, eventually it's on back order from Unobstructed View, is the Beast and the Magic Sword. So eventually I'll have that one. Eventually I'm getting most of your spare money. I have a lot of spare money this month. What do I think is the worst Giallo film ever made? Oh God. I really don't know. I mean, I have to rewatch some of my stuff. Any label Cauldron? I have not heard much on Cauldron films. I've seen a little bit. First two releases are Jello, Abracadabra, and American. Oh, I've seen American Rickshaw. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen like ads for it. But so I don't know Cauldron films very well. Like I gotta dive in or look into that. I'll be honest with you. A couple companies, like I had some people like send me movies, and that's how I found stuff. Sometimes I had like companies that I wasn't aware of, or I just didn't have any other stuff because I live in a smaller area, so we don't get a lot. Like the most I can go is like when I go to Halifax, for instance, which is obviously not doing now. Then I can go to Sunrise Records and they got like a small section of genre films there. And every once in a while I'll find something different, something unique. But a lot of it's like it's gonna be Arrow, it's gonna be like Scream Factory, gonna be some Kino there, that type of stuff. But every once in a while there'll be a garage house picture or something there, like shoved in between, and I'll be able to grab something like that. So I'm always kind of checking out for that type of stuff. And I always love it when I can find like a company or a film that I don't know. When the Arrow when the Vinegar Syndrome Jolly box set came out, and I hadn't seen the films, it didn't matter to me if like, okay, are these the films that I'm going to love? Are these films that are going to be like that are going to be big with me? Uh, um, they're films that I haven't seen. They're blind spots in my Giallo watching, and they're so magnificently done and well like featured with the commentaries that I knew immediately that it didn't matter if these were fantastic Giallos or if they were okay Giallos. It had to be in my collection. There were blind spots, and they were like done. They were commentated by three great commentators. So that was something that was a big one for me. I always recommend if you're looking at like, hey there, Chris. If you're looking at like stuff, my voice went like I went in puberty again. Always kind of look. Okay, Fantasy Europe. What is it? We Can Kill a Child or Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. Oh wow. No, your English is perfect, dude. I love Living Dead Manchester Morgue, actually. That's, God, how do you pronounce his name? Jorge Grau? Did I get that right? Did I pronounce that right? He was the director of that particular film. I have the Blue Underground 2-disc edition that they put out like quite a few years ago. I definitely need to get an upgrade on that one. I'm going to look into Fanatera just to see it because they do have a reach and free player. So if there's some cool additions that I always love when people like let me know about like new companies and stuff like that, or companies that I don't know about, because there's a lot of blind. I'm saying in North America, there's a lot of blind spots for me that I don't have a media book in my collection, or I don't have any. Like Germany puts out so much good stuff. I don't have any Germany stuff from Germany. You're blind by. Like that's the same with me, Dave. And anything that Vinegar Syndrome puts out, I will, if I interest me at all, I'll blind buy it. Their sets I will blind buy because the Amityville Curse set was amazing. The Angel Collection, that was incredible. And now the Forgotten Jolly Volume 1, I'm down. Obviously, I unbox that because I don't want to miss a Vinegar Syndrome box set. It's an event when they do a box set. And props to Severin. This Al Adamson box set looks like Severin is like stepping up and going next level with what they're doing. So both Vinegar Syndrome and Severin have been making such huge like pushes. Sergio Martino, both are really good. I mean, I don't know if I can choose between Sergio Martino and Lucio Fulci. A lot of people, well, when they say Lucio Fulci, they'll go towards like his Gates of Hell trilogy, right? They'll talk about The Beyond and House by the Cemetery. They'll talk about City of the Living Dead, or maybe they'll even go like to one of his other things, kind of his more slasher-oriented stuff, like New York Ripper. But Lucio Fulci, when he's doing Giallo, there's not a bad, like in my opinion anyway. There's not a bad Lucio Fulci Giallo, and I include Murder Rock, which I really love. People give it hell, but I really like Murder Rock. And Martino does some great stuff too. Earlier stuff, best Martino one for me. Oh, excuse me. Your Vice's Locked Room and Only I Have the Key, hands down. And also like Strange Vice Miss Award. Those two right there. So definitely those like Fulci, I would say is has a better filmography overall than Martino, but they both are really really good. And well, at least in like Fulci has better filmography like in horror. He took some chances, and Devil's Honey put him out in a different aspect as well, which I really like that film. So if you've ever seen Devil's Honey, worth checking out. Is there a director I want nothing to do with? Um, and why? Early on, there was a movie called a Serbian film when I had come on to here, and yeah, we'll get to him. And I was not a big fan of the film, and I felt that it was an exploitation film that was masquerading as a political statement. But then again, I'm not the person from the country, so I don't. So, but I didn't buy the director's thing, so I was really not big on that. But Selva, yes, this was a director that I really wouldn't want to really touch with a 10-foot pole, unless it was to like smack him or something like that. Because yeah, but I have seen some of his films too. Reading some stuff about the Wittgenstein taboo films, Part 5 and Beyond, were never shown. That's exactly the reason. That's why they ended it at the fourth one, actually. Only the first four are done were done theatrically. Everything else from and they went to like 18 or 19. There might be even more, actually, to be honest with you. What I would like to see though, there was I'm not sure if it was a straight to video series. It was not taboo, but it was called American Taboo, and it was a 5-part, I think it was 5-part, 4 or 5-part miniseries that continued, adult miniseries, and it was like it was different. Eventually, if I can ever find it, if I can ever get it, because I remember watching it back in the day, and renting them, those big box ones. Then I would love to see Wittgenstein to put them out because it was an interesting series. It was very well done. It was actually well written. Dolly Dearest. Oh, that cover is amazing. Pale Blood too, by the way. Also an incredible one. Welcome, James. First live video. Welcome to the Cult Cinema. Did you like it? Did you like the package? Have you watched anything yet? I haven't got a chance to watch things yet. I'm going to watch some of my Vinegar Stream stuff the weekend. American Taboo's 4 parts. Thank you. Because I was wondering about that. What's my favorite box set? Hammer from Indicator. Okay. The fourth one is really, really good. It's got the best combination of all of it. But personally, for some reasons, I kind of lean towards, I like all of them. The first one is really good. I'm a big Curran Matthews fan, and Maniac is on the first volume. So that was like, that's one that I utterly adore. And I've watched that one like around 4 times. But I find that they've been getting better as they go through. So the first volume's great, the second volume comes along, and it gets more suspensey type stuff. The third volume is different. Like, and not everybody likes the third volume as much. It's an adventure, kind of what we would call, and I think in the UK we'll call boys' adventures. Sounds kind of sexist now, but back in the day that's what it was called. Where basically there would be like these kind of swashbuckling type of adventures where there'd be the evil, like the Fu Manchu type character. Yeah, actually say welcome to James, guys. Or there'd be like a kind of like just kind of the fisticuffs type of thing going on. So I do enjoy that. It kind of takes me back to my childhood. I'd say probably part 4 is is my favorite volume so far though. Pets. Oh, let me know what you think of Pets. It's really, really different. I've got a special like affinity for the film Pets. It's a weird film, but I really like it. It's one that stands out. And one that I do recommend if you like that style of film. Obviously, he's put out a couple movies from the company. The first one was, God, what was it? Because I know the Blu-ray sold out, but they still got a DVD out there. Or there'll be a volume 6. I would love it, Elvin, if there's a volume 6. I haven't heard anything. I know there's the 5th volume's out. He's not here tonight, but George, great guy on here, by the way, comes here. And he looked at the Indicator stuff, and he is way out, surpassed my Indicator collection. And he's pretty much bought all the box sets and stuff that he's been able to get his hands on. And he sends pictures to me when he gets his stuff, which it's been pretty impressive to see it go along. I love the Indicator stuff. Their boxes are incredible. See, that was Through the Looking Glass. That would be an excellent choice, actually. But as far as I know, there's no Volume 6 as of yet, thought of as of yet. And it would depend on where they'd go. I mean, like, I could eventually see them maybe doing some of their, they've done maybe some of their swashbuckling stuff. And I'm not sure how people would feel about it, but maybe some of their comedic stuff as well. I'm not sure if we're going to get an On the Buses set or anything like that, but kind of something along that line. George doesn't have a channel as of yet. I don't think so. But he got some really cool stuff. I haven't got Malabimba yet, but I have seen the film. I think I got a version of Malabimba, a UK edition of it, but obviously it was a DVD edition. But I actually mentioned New Warlock earlier, by the way. I definitely want to check out that stuff. My opinion, I actually really like Troma. I got to meet Lloyd in Montreal when I was there one year. A really nice guy. My better half actually talked to him more than I did. We were there. I was spending a lot of time at the Troma table. I bought a lot of Troma releases that year. At the time, the most releases that anybody had bought at a convention from Troma at one time. So that'll tell you something right there. But I really like Lloyd. He's a really smart guy. And although some of the like Troma films they try to go into what's called the bad taste territory, but they do it in a kind of a fun way. Lloyd likes movies, and it is obvious. And Lloyd is a shill in the best possible way, and I don't mean that in a negative way at all. No, it's good, man. We were talking about like movies and like how long it takes them to come, and the fact that Diabolic DVD and Grand and Grinders Tampa are kind of closing their international shipping for a while. And I mentioned that I got my first Unobstructed View release, but I was a little bit nervous because some of the stuff's on back order, and I'm not quite sure how long their stuff is going to go on back order for right now, because I ordered some stuff and everything else is on back order, and I'm like, Unobstructed View isn't exactly giving me any type of like time frame or anything like that, so there's a lot of them. I will say I'm a big fan of the comedian Christopher Titus. I used to watch this show called Titus, came on Fox back in the day. He put out all of his comedy shows and the show Titus on his channel for free, on his YouTube channel, free actually. Do I have Dr. Giggles? I got the Twisted Tears box set, which included Dr. Giggles uncut. And at the time, like it had Dr. Giggles uncut and stuff for the first time. It's interesting. And it's fun because Dr. Giggles actually has a girl that will go on to be in the series Charmed, and then later on to be in Pretty Little Liars. She'd be a mom in that one as well. So I was actually a big fan of Dr. Giggles. And I thought that it's a missed opportunity because it definitely could have been a franchise type of thing. And that's obviously what they're going for with Dr. Giggles. But unfortunately, it was at a time when slashers had kind of run dry. And it was closer to the end of the slasher era for that period of time, where people were kind of not watching it anymore. The movie The Kindred, because there's a TV series too. I like a vampire TV series, but I know I'm that. But yeah, everything has pretty much went to a crawl. I got to actually contact Unobstructed View tonight about one of my releases. I don't mind waiting for it. I just want to like kind of know like maybe where it's at. It's going to take a month. It's going to take a month. It's going to take a month. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. Just want to know. But with that being said, for those that just came in, Shadow sent me the Revenge of the Living Dead Girl, which is an amazing like out of print Severin release with soundtrack, by the way. And I picked up this. Any thoughts on movies to pick up for Vinegar Syndrome sale? That's a good question, actually. I will be doing, keep an eye out, because I'm going to be doing a Vinegar Syndrome recommendations review. I'm going to be doing a few Vinegar Syndrome like videos over the next couple weeks, because the sale's coming up. And basically, it's going to be from the 22nd to the 25th, and that's like kind of that's going to be exciting. But the week before that, they're going to close down and just get ready for the sale. So I want to be doing like videos over the next couple weeks, like, and I'll be putting vinegar shrimp stuff in each of those videos. I do like a limited edition countdown too. When the McPherson tapes was selling out, I came on here to let people know, and it literally sold out while we were making the video. It went from 14 copies to none. So that was in it. That was a fun night. You can still order from this, just not shipping yet. May not know themselves. I hate the flux part of it, and it's not their fault. Or like it's like a lot of companies right now. Like I know my Manson family is back ordered, and my Beast and the Magic Sword is back ordered, and my Scorpio Films set is back ordered. I think it should be good with the Jello set. I think it's still going to be there. If you're talking about the Vinegar Syndrome one, I think it'll be there for the sale. Now, that being said, I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's going to be a large amount off during the sale for the Vinegar Syndere's like Jello set, because of that what's going on right now. Where is Ronin Flix? Ronin Flix is where. How is their shipping, Warlock? And that's what I was going to ask before. That's the other thing I mentioned to you. Ronin Flix, how are they for shipping, and how quick are they right now? Because I'm guessing you've ordered from Ronin Flix before. As we wait for Warlock's comment. Oh, David, runs extremely fast shipping. Oh, nice. Elite shipping. Order now, be shipped in the morning. Damn. I got to suck up to my better half again. But I know she's not gonna let me, because she knows I want to get something for the Vinegar Syndrome sale, and our budget right now, unfortunately, has been very tight. Working from home has taken a bit of a cut into our household, actually. No, like that's, but I'm guessing as the same as it probably has for a lot of you guys out there. So I'm preaching to the choir there, right? We all know with that. Fastest from the US. Huh. How pricey. 35% off though is good. So if the shipping isn't too bad, I got to look at it. I probably won't be able to get anything from it, but I got to look at it. I still want to buy Animal Crossing. Everybody's playing Animal Crossing but me. Group buys is a good idea down the road. I've been getting on that with you, Warlock, one of these days, when I actually have money. I've never thought about doing that. That's actually a really good idea. But with that being said, guys, you know what time it is right now? It's that time again. We've gone for 103 minutes, which is I think is I do have a Nintendo Switch. Right now I am playing Pokemon Shield, and because that's the one I bought, and I'm over halfway through it. So I really want Animal Crossing. I need to get Animal Crossing. But with that being said, I am Aaron. This is not my movie library. This is my study area. If for those that haven't seen me in a while, or your first time here, my leg has been really bad over the last few days, so I can't get down over the stairs. So that's been the thing. I'm been able to get down to the stairs to get into my movie library. I'm Aaron. You guys are the Call to Cinema. You guys rock. For the new guys from Call to Cinema, please come back again. Thank you so much for coming in. Have a great evening there. And I will see you next time, because it really is time for tea.